Now, a lot of you may know already what decimal places are. For those who don't know what decimal places are, these decimal places are numbers that are occurring after the decimal point. So say, for example, if I have 2.56253, I just made that up. The number of decimal places is what we're going to be looking after the decimal point. So that's the decimal point, and how many numbers are after that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 5 numbers after decimal place. Now, if I tell you to round it to 1 decimal place, you only look at the number 1 after the decimal place, so 5. So if I round it to 1 decimal place, it would be 2.5, but you have to always look at the next number. The next number is 6, which is greater than 5. If the next number is greater or equal to 5, you have to round that number up. So it's going to be 2.6, and that's the number to 1 decimal place. Okay, so make sure you always consider what the next number is. Now I'll do one more and we'll start the questions. If I say round it to 2 decimal places, I would look 1, 2 decimal places after the decimal point. So it will be 2.5 and then 6, but you make sure you look at the next number, which is 2. 2 is definitely less than 5, isn't it? So therefore you don't have to round it up, you just leave it as it is. So it's going to be 2.56. Okay, that's the answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, so for the next few questions, guys, always look after the decimal point. So let's try the questions. It's very simple. That's all you need to know. So let's try question 1. It says, this is the number. I'm going to start with A. The number is 1.5. I just need to tell, you just need to tell me how many decimal places there are. Remember, you always look at the numbers after the decimal point. After the decimal point, there's only the number 5, which is only one number. So there's only 1 decimal place. Okay, that's all you need to do. So you just need to count up how many numbers after the decimal point. Now B, how many numbers are there? Well, after the decimal point, there's 1 and 5, so 2 numbers altogether. So 2. Very, very easy. C, I think you guys can tell me. It's simply 3. 1, 2, 3. Now D, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4. E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 5. And then F, 1, 2, 3, 4, so 4. So see how I'm only looking at the numbers after decimal point, so it doesn't really matter what's before it. Now G, 1, 2, 3, so 3. And H, again, 1, 2, 3, so 3. So although it's 0, you still include it because there must be a purpose of doing that. The question might have said, write the number in 3 decimal places, and it would have been 0. So they just wrote 0, 0, 0. But that's just the same as 2. But because I have it there, you still need to write 3. And that's pretty much it. That's easy, isn't it? That's all you need to do, just counting it up. Now question 2, this time it's a little bit different. This time they give you the number, but I want to round it to 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, and 3 decimal places. So if I want to round that to 1 decimal place, you look at 1 number after decimal point, which is 3. But you have to look at the next number, which is 4. Is that greater or equal to 5? Definitely not, so you just leave it as 12.3. Okay, now 2 decimal places, it would be 3 and 4, but you look at the next number, it's 5. If it's 5, you still have to round this number up. So it's going to be 12.3, 5, not 4, 5. Okay, just round it by 1. And 3, it would just be 1, 2, 3. There's no numbers after it, so the number itself is the answer. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 decimal places. Now B, you do the same thing. 1 decimal place, 1, but you look at the next number, it's just 1. It's less than 5, so it's just going to be 3.0. Now for 2 decimal places, you go 1, 2, but see how the next number is 5? If it's 5, I told you to also round it up, so it's going to be 3.02. Now 3 decimal places, you look at 3 numbers, 1, 2, 3. The next number is 3, which is less than 5, so you just leave it as 3.015. Very easy, isn't it? Now C, okay, 1 decimal place. The number is 0, the next number is 0, so you don't have to round it up. It's just going to be 5,000.0. 2 decimal places, 1, 2. The next number is still less than 5, so you just leave it as it is. It's 5,000.00. And then 3 decimal places. Now it's 1, 2, 3. There's nothing after it, so you just leave it as it is, and that's the answer for this one. Now D, okay, 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place is 3. The next number is 7, which is greater than 5, so you have to round it up, so it becomes 4. 2 decimal places, you go 1, 2. The next number is less than 5, so you leave it as it is. And then so it's going to be just 3, 7. And then 3 decimal places, you go 1, 2, 3. The next number is 6, which is greater than 5, so you have to round the previous number up 1. So it's going to be 316.375. Okay, so see how I rounded the 4 up by 1? And then E, 1 decimal place will be like that, just 1, but then 3 is less than 5, so the answer would just be 0.0. I know that's just 0, but because they ask you to write it as 1 decimal place, you should write it like this. Okay? Now 2 decimal places, 1, 2. 7 is greater than 5, so you have to round the 3 up to 4. Now 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. 2 is less than 5, so you leave it as 0.037. F, 1 decimal place, 1. Obviously the rest are all zeros, so you just leave it as 1.0. 2 decimal places, I think you guys can tell me the answer for this one. It's just 1.00, okay? And 3 decimal places, 1.000. You don't have to worry about rounding up because all the next numbers are less than 5. G, 1 decimal place, just 1. It's just going to be 4.6. 2 decimal places, 4.60. And again, you don't really need to worry about rounding it up because all the numbers over here are less than 5. And then 3 decimal places, 4.600. Okay, so make sure you keep those zeros there if they want you to put it as 3 decimal places. And then H, we've got 4 zeros after it, and again, we don't have to worry about rounding up because all these numbers are less than 5. So 1 decimal place, 2.0, 2 decimal place, 2.00, and 3, 2.000. Very, very simple. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So it's very, very repetitive, isn't it? So hopefully that's all stuck in your head by now.